Counterfeiting is a giant global trade.
iPhone 6, new model.
Anything and everything can be faked.
We have Gucci in there, we have some big name in there.
The enterprise is breathtaking.
They're selling these watches on eBay, and that's the real thing.
There's no single market.
Literally, these boxes are from all four corners of the planet.
No single point of entry.
China, Japan, Europe, Asia.
Every crackdown drives fakers to ever greater levels of cunning.
Counterfeits have been here forever. Since 9/11, customs stop a lot of and right now, especially bootleg, they trying to stop it because the stores are complaining. But them stores, I gotta get money.
You get money. Need some money getting is over here.
Tommy Vuitton considers himself a knockoff entrepreneur.
We got everything I need. Louis, Gucci, Ferragamo, whatever you want, I have it. Whatever you need, you come right here. I'll pick it up, you come get it. You got your money right, I'll get it to you. That's how we do it in the hood. Thanks, girl. UPS.
Tommy is elated. He has just received a shipment of fakes that have been sneaked through customs.
Straight out of China, straight to me. That's A+ right there. A+. I do wholesale, retail, retail. Don't give a about it. Just get it in all day long.
Tommy is a wholesaler.
Sometimes it'll be $400,000 a shipment worth of clothes, worth of merchandise. Every shipment, like $500,000.
The key to being a successful fake wholesaler is understanding your market.
Rich people buy it, poor people buy it, middle class people buy it, overseas people buy it. Everybody's into the counterfeit nowadays. And there's nothing wrong with it. Get your money. Get your money the best way you know how to get your money. If that's selling counterfeit, get your money selling counterfeit. People don't have $15,000, $1,500 to buy a pocketbook, so you'd rather give me $250 for a pocketbook, I'll take it.
Based in Harlem in New York, Tommy ships wholesale to towns and cities east of the Mississippi.
I supply about 57 to 60 stores in New York City. North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Miami, Detroit.
Primarily, most of our targets here come right out of New York. There's no hesitation to ship the counterfeit goods. A lot of these guys are buying right from New York, right through UPS.
A small town somewhere in Ohio. It's Friday, and it's market day, but this one is different.
Once we all arrive at this location, everybody has to be in plain clothes. And if it looks like somebody does...
A team of 50 Homeland Security and Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents is targeting a number of counterfeit traders.
At any time, I want to see no visible markings. I don't want your radios down. I want no notification. Once you're in place to hit your target, you can remove your outer shirt. I prefer you do that as the team leaders. You will identify yourself, and then we're in business. We're going to take everything we can. If they're still there and it's counterfeit, we're not leaving without it today. I want you to seize money today.
Agent Santana and his team have been developing this case for over 18 months. Today is the counterfeiter's day of reckoning.
Anticipated at the end of this that we will indict approximately 6 to 10 people, and we will be charging them criminally in trafficking in counterfeit goods.
Plainclothes agents move discreetly through the market to eyeball the targets. Once identified, Santana gives the order to move in, make the arrests, and seize the goods and cash.
Go. Excuse me.
They apprehend the first target.
What do we got?
This gentleman's being uncooperative. You said to take all the counterfeit products.
The suspect is concealing his goods in melon crates.
If I have his product in my van, why do you guys want it?
Talk to right here. This agent right here will handle everything you need. Stop.
You don't have any weapons on you, right?
Another target is making excuses. He claims he's just a visitor.
Go ahead, Rob.
432. Copy. Sorry.
Word spreads fast. It's a major bust.
Have identification, that'd be great.
A target is stopped as he reloads his van.
I didn't see him even see me, and he just kind of slipped out.
But some of the targets have slipped away.
Did they leave that money?
We got a little bit of scratch, but they took the cash box.
They took the cash box?
He eyeballed me, bro. I mean, this is what it is.
That's fine. That's okay. CBP ID box is at 199.
Agents hold a target who has so much stuff he couldn't pack it away in time.
And then the bigger, larger ones are there. That's it. And then the stick hands.
Okay, sounds good.
A suspect wholesaler is apprehended.
I understand the situation clearly as far as where you got.
He's nervous and becomes animated.
What company here I can get it? These people to sell it here.
Hey, get over there. I don't like his posturing.
What's the company I can get it to sell it?
The agents discover the suspect is living in the United States illegally.
The subject is final order of removal. So, meaning we're going to take him and process him.
Over here's the van. Put your hands up on the van for me, please. Yes, sir. Do you have any weapons or anything on you, sir, that I need to know about?
No, I don't get it. No.
Okay.
This is money that was on the table as well under a box.
It's been a good day for the Ohio cops. But with crackdowns like these on open street sales, some big city purveyors of fakes tend to operate differently. New York City, Midtown Manhattan.
Hi, brother.
Here, the sales force keeps out of sight. Instead, the counterfeit turf belongs to lookouts and runners. They lead customers to a nearby alley to a salesman and a digital shop front.
We have Gucci in there. Also, we sell sneakers like the Jordan, the LeBron stuff. We have Microcross in there. We have some big name in there.
Abu sells the brand some people feel they can't live without.
I born in Sierra Leone. We here, we hustle it. We make our own $1, $2. We don't hurt nobody.
Let me tell you something. The Jamaican party right here in Brooklyn, man. Come on, man.
Abu and the lookouts live hand to mouth. Their visa status unknown.
Jamaica, man, but Africa, you know?
Just trying to make a little bit. If you don't have a paper, you can't survive. Because you can't walk if you don't have a paper. You can't walk.
It's precarious work. Abu is never sure if he's selling to an undercover.
You can get arrested. The risk is big. You can get arrested. You can go to jail for it. Some people go to jail for it like 3 years. Some people go 8 years. But they can take you back home for it so you can get deported to your country back.
The tablet storefront keeps costs low. No sky-high rent, no utility bills.
They have many stuff. So we show you if you like it, and they will bring it for you outside, and they will make sure we're in the safety place so we can open and show you. So you like it, you buy it from there, and that's it. That's how we do it every single day. We're getting them from white people, getting them from Jewish people, Chinese people.
All these boxes with red labels, this is all stuff that's been seized. It's all found to be in violation of various laws of the United States.
24 million containers turn up at American seaports and border crossings each year. 250 million express packages arrive by air. The New York, New Jersey ports are a major gateway. For wholesalers and retailers in the New York region, this is where the fakes come in. CBP and Homeland Security are the gatekeepers. Their job is to stop the fakes before they get through.
It's got a tag on it itself, even with a skew, so it looks as real as you can get with an MSRP sticker on it.
So your whole box right here. The quality and the craftsmanship is fairly decent, but most likely somebody from Michael Kors will be quick to point out what's counterfeit on this bag. In this shipment, we have high-end counterfeit watches, very hard to discern what's real and not real. And they will sell these watches either as counterfeit and tell the people, look, it's a knockoff watch. But there's more an insidious side to this trade where they're selling these watches on eBay and that's the real thing. You normally see this retailing for at least $10,000 and above for a single watch.
Yeah, so in this box, if all these watches were real, you're probably looking at about $1 million for the product.
The counterfeiters know the way the laws are written, because we've prosecuted enough of these cases, if you get caught with an entire shipping container of thousands of items, you're looking at the maximum sentencing under any of the counterfeit goods trafficking laws. If you get caught with a couple of boxes of jerseys, you're always going to be small time. It doesn't matter that you may do thousands and thousands of boxes at a time, you're never going to be hit with that large penalty.
I've been to prison 5 to 10 times for the same thing. For 2 handbags and a watch, I would get 30 days.
A short walk from Fifth Avenue, the sweet man hides from the law in his Midtown showroom, a low-rent hotel for hookers, pimps, and knockoff storemen.
I have to look over my shoulder. I'm leaving my house not knowing if I'm going to go back to my children. That's what makes me hate the job.
But he's in too deep to back out now.
I'm a middleman. I got people above me. I got people below me. This guy costs approximately like $6,000. I set up 10% of that, like $500. The game is really serious now for me. I would sell my good weight. I'm looking at about like $1,500 to $5,000 a week.
Sweet Man sells to anyone, but he does have his personal favorites.
I would say that the Caucasian is the best customers in the business. They tell me they don't want to spend all that money in the store, they want to spend it with me.
After years of selling on the street, Sweet Man has become a self-taught handbag expert. Giving insider tips helps make the sale.
Some stuff's so good that you would believe that people from the stores giving you these stuffs. The handle's supposed to come in real leather. And I sample on these, I put water on it, as you can see. It would change colors right away. The only thing that makes it fake is the serial number, which is located right here. He always has the same serial numbers in all the bags. All the bags come with the same thing.
Sometimes he wonders if his skills are wasted.
With all the knowledge I have, if I get an opportunity to work at a Chanel store, yeah, I would take that job. Take that job, tell myself legal.
Consumers buy fakes because they want a bargain. The lure is the label. The brand doesn't have to be high-end, but it has to be cheap.
We've got a guy who makes fake Tide. He prints up his labels, he sticks them on the orange buckets, and he sells them as 5-gallon buckets of Tide. They're called bucket sellers, and they've sprung up all over the country. We are one of 3 units in the United States that I know of who fight counterfeit goods.
Okay, let me know what you find out.
Dave Lake runs the Organized Commercial Crimes Unit of the Phoenix Police Department. With a team of 9 undercover agents, the unit works over 2,500 cases each year.
The shadow economy is about commerce. It's about illegal commerce. And the biggest threat in the shadow economy, of course, is IPR, which is intellectual property rights or counterfeit goods. It is a parasite on legitimate commerce, and it drains away money that we rely on as a society.
Today, Lake and his team are taking down the counterfeit Tide brewer, who's working out of a self-storage facility.
He's mixing all kinds of different chemicals. We assume they're safe, but they're not being used in the way they were intended, so we don't know. There's no material data sheet on them. I myself am highly allergic to whatever's in these chemicals. And the other thing is that he's not selling these to upper middle class people. The average consumer of this is a poor person who's trying to get a deal.
To catch the fake Tide suspect, officers engineer a buy-bust sting.
Let's see here. So I'm going to give you
Lake has set up a hidden camera overlooking the storage unit. He monitors the target on his smartphone.
Our undercover guys are going to go in and they're going to buy a pallet of them. We asked for a pallet to force them to make a bunch. And then we're going to drive away and we're going to arrest him for the manufacturing of counterfeit goods. Tide is a big commodity. It's expensive at the store, and it's a consumable, meaning that I'm going to buy it again. And it's portable. It makes a great shadow economy currency, if you will.
As the suspect prepares the fake Tide order, Lake briefs the arrest team.
When you come in this way, we'll run down this and stage right there, so that if he flees or anything, we're there to take him with you.
As arranged, the undercover pulls up in a rental van to pay the suspect and collect the counterfeit Tide buckets. Just a block away, Dave Lake's team, supported by uniformed officers, gets ready to move in. But it's not clear if the suspect is armed. In the black market, the fake Tide scam is in fact a better business than selling crack or meth off a corner. It's a lot safer. Rivals are less likely to kill you for your turf. And you might think you're invisible to the cops, but not in Phoenix.
You have to stay here because guns are going to be pointing this way, so we'll get up there, we're going to stay back. As soon as he starts up the engine, we'll shoot down his wall and crouch.
As the undercover shakes on the deal, the trap is sprung. Fake detergent is an easy scam in the shadow economy. There's a never-ending demand.
He's going to spend $6 for a bucket, and he's going to spend a little bit of money for his soap. The water's free.
Any weapons on you, man? A knife right down there. See right there? Okay.
Well, he's probably costing him $10 to $12 for a bucket, and he's going to sell it to us for $45. So his profit's going to be extremely high. Now, you compare that to drugs, and every person whose hand is in the process of making and manufacturing and moving the drugs into the United States, they all take a percentage. They're not getting 500% markup. But this guy's going to make almost 300% markup on this.
You're under arrest for trafficking and manufacturing and selling counterfeit goods. You're faking that Tide. That's not real Tide. And we've been buying from you for a while with a lot of different folks, but you know that's against the law, so we're not going to play any games. Take you down there, read your rights, talk to you about it, see what's going on, okay? This stuff burns my hands, by the way. I don't know what's in that, but I'm allergic to it. You should feel bad.
But Lake encounters a problem.
Ideally, everything operationally went perfect, but you can never count on the suspects, right? Ideally, he would have had the stickers put on the buckets. We've bought other loads from him that had the stickers on the buckets, so our case is fine, but the big load that we just picked up, his production operation wasn't good, strong enough to, basically, he didn't get a chance to print the labels. And a counterfeit item without a label is not a counterfeit item. It's just a cheap one.
In the counterfeit world, it's the label that makes the sale, but it's also what gets you busted.
Looks like we got a package here of Tory Burch metal labels. Now, this is the new paradigm we see. We do see coming through sea freight, our containers are just blank product.
Counterfeiters use the law to beat the lawmakers in an elaborate game of cat and mouse.
It'll be blank handbags or generic, as we call them, handbags, purses, and wallets. They don't have any labels on them. Then what we find is we get boxes of nothing but labels. They have these warehouses here in New York where they'll relabel all of their products so that it goes from a bunch of perfectly legal generic handbags that are completely blank, but the minute they start affixing these labels to them, that's when they make the final counterfeit product. They'll run these warehouse operations where vehicles from all over the country come, Maryland, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas. They'll pull up, they'll load the vehicle full of blank bags, and then at the last minute, the person will get either a box like this so that he can go wherever he is, whatever flea market, and make his finished product.
For the inspectors, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. JFK package handlers process up to 600,000 incoming shipments a day. The sheer volume gives the counterfeiters an edge and greater earning potential.
The profit they make is amazing. We get their bank accounts when we do these investigations, and they're making millions of dollars. They do everything they can to try and launder it and then send the money overseas. Everything they can that we usually see with the drug industry. We see the same problems coming in for the smugglers of these items. They just can't get rid of the money fast enough.
But CBP has some tricks up its sleeve.
They're like any other smuggling group. They try to be unpredictable, and we try to be more unpredictable as them in our examination techniques. What I have here is a physical exam being conducted on a shipment of boots that are coming out of China. And if you look at the boots themselves, they are similar to Uggs, but not marked as Ugg. If you clear out some of the extra lines, it's UGG. So that's going to be manipulated.
Counterfeiters cleverly mask the fake branding.
This boot came in with that type of label. The officers ripped the label off, and underneath is a trademark logo of UGG. The bottom of the boot had this type of sole. The officers lifted it off, separated the glue, and there is an unlicensed importation of the UGG trademark.
The cops get wise. Fakers bob and weave. And across town, some fake bling is changing hands.
Now, you know, all this stuff is all Swiss lane movement. So you'll love that. Now, if you want, we can also ice that out. You know, we can do it like that.
The watchman sells fake watches and chains, but he doesn't import them. He buys legit components and makes them himself. He figures he's giving value for money.
I always tell my clients, why spend $45,000, $50,000? Spend $10,000, $12,000. I'll get you the same exact watch, same exact feel.
Only they're not the same watch. They're fakes. The best counterfeit bling he claims that money can buy. In fact, the watchman hypes his product so much, he seems to believe his own rap.
The real Audemars Piguet is identical. Not a difference at all. Original price, real watch, about $47,000. I'll give it to you $4,500.
For the watchman, attention to detail is everything.
We replicate every watch to be identical. Grade A, no mistakes, no flaws. We set the stones exactly how the original watch is designed to be.
The diamonds sparkle, and the gold has a hallmark. None of it's genuine.
He has a 14-karat stamp, as you can see, but we stamp everything official, from the watches to the bracelets, to the rings, to the earrings, to the custom grills. No one could possibly get anything stamped unless you're in this inside jewelry world.
The fake gold chains and jewelry only become illegal when he brands them. The watchman claims his bling watches and fake jewelry are in high demand.
Money-wise, my gross in a good week, maybe about 18 to 25,000. I triple my money up 3 times.
So you want it?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
The watchman closes the deal.
Just give me a deposit and...
My clientele consists from your local street drug dealer, boxers, people that I deal with personally in the music industry, NBA players. No one will ever know unless you tell them it's fake.
The watchman perfected his sales technique in the drug game. He swapped rocks of crack for fake rocks.
Too many of my fallen brothers grew up around the Bloods, grew up around gangs, and it was either jail or, laying in a coffin.
For Tommy Vuitton, knockoffs are a giant leap up from drug dealing.
I'm no drug dealer. I came from the streets, but I worked my way up to do the right thing by opening businesses. And I'll try to make myself comfortable the way I can live, the way I can take care of my family. That nobody can say, oh, he's out here being a drug dealer. All they can say is, oh, he's out here selling clothes. He's selling pocketbooks. He's doing something positive. He ain't trying to do nothing negative. If I'm selling drugs and selling clothes, that's a big change. That's a big change. Because once you change from drugs to clothes, that means you're trying to change your life around. You ain't trying to go to jail for 100 years.
Tommy runs a crooked business, but he still has responsibilities.
I got about 50 or 60 people employed. They got jobs. They take care of their family. If the business is slow, they still get paid.
Tommy faces all the risks of a legitimate businessman, and then some. Risk number 1, clearing customs.
I lose about 7%, 40, 50,000 hours worth of stuff. It don't bite me out. I still make ends meet.
Risk number 2, getting busted.
You will get locked up for counterfeiting. That's for one. And if you got a lot of it, you're going to jail for a pretty long time. But if you got some petty mo, you got little little that got it. They don't get it. They get they go to jail. The judge let them go home. A little fine, a little 3 days community service. That's it. When you get caught with a mother load, you go into the feds. The way they doing with this counterfeit, they don't want nobody to eat. If the government ain't eating off of it, they don't want nobody eating off of it. 70 months, 90 months. Well, if you don't know what 90 months and 70 months is, do the math on the calendar, because that's a lot of years.
Risk number 3, trusting your supplier.
You got the Chinese, you got the Indians, and you got the Africans. I just deal with the Chinese. And they figure, if you got a little bit of money, we got some for you. If you got a lot of money, we got some better for you. If they send me some, well, I got to just deal with them because they ain't gonna take it back. I just have to sell it. If they send me some D quality, I just have to sell a D quality because me giving it back, I'm gonna lose everything.
Buying counterfeit goods by the container load from the Chinese taught Tommy Vuitton an invaluable business lesson.
You gotta trust somebody sometimes, so I trusted them. They eating, I'm eating, the streets is eating, everybody's happy.
10 years ago, Tommy traveled alone to China to establish a personal connection with counterfeit manufacturers. At first, they didn't take to him.
When I went there, they didn't want to bother with me because they figure a black man in China, he ain't coming here, he coming here to mess with girls. They don't understand I was coming here for business. I need money.
But he soon won them over.
They love black people. They love the same thing we love, money.
To catch a fake's entrepreneur, you need a fake's detective.
I travel with different looks and different personas and pretending to be from different places. For some cases, we'll have to pretend to be, let's say, Eastern European, so we made these. I come in and or we can look like a used car salesman.
Ted Kavoris is a private detective, a former New York cop. He's been stalking counterfeiters in China for nearly 20 years.
We have 10 field agents who are often in the field and undercover, and supporting them we have about 30 staff. And those are researchers who will profile our targets. Even though all of our agents speak Mandarin, we'll pretend we don't. So, because if they realize we speak Mandarin, then they'll just speak a local dialect that we don't understand. Chakoyam guy, Chakoyam.
Today, Ted is going undercover. He's heading to Shenzhen, mainland China, just across the border from Hong Kong. In China, counterfeiting is widespread, but officially illegal. If Ted gets rumbled, things could get ugly.
Shenzhen is where a lot of mobile and electronic accessories are manufactured, and thus you have these sub-factories who are supplying chipsets and components which are then used in these products.
In the 1980s, Shenzhen was a small fishing village. Now, it's one of the fastest-growing cities in the world. The population is over 10 million and counting. Kavoris and his local agents are investigating an electronics company counterfeiting a satellite receiver whose patent belongs to Ted's client, based in Germany.
You know, counterfeiters in China like to see a fat guy like me who wants to buy a lot of their product, and you know, we spend money, we actually buy the products, and it works very well.
Ted draws on his training in U.S. policing. Once a lawman, always a lawman.
The New York City Police Academy is a very good academy. It's 6 months full-time, and they train you to deal with stressful situations, tactical situations, and when you go undercover, all of this lends to assisting you to keep your cool and keep things going, and to work the target and play them and get things going properly.
Working his targets from the inside, gaining their trust, Ted uses a range of secret cameras to gather evidence.
Some of our cameras are very high resolution, so I'll put them on, and I'll pretend to be from Texas, and we'll wire them up. So this will be our camera. On one camera we developed where we concealed the camera system behind a label, and this way we can go on a pool or the beach. In many traditional Chinese conspiracies, if they don't want you to record them, they'll take you to a sauna or something where you'll be undressed, completely naked, and speak to them in the sauna. So somebody obviously can have a glass of water in a hot sauna. So that's what this was designed for.
Ted works for multinationals, customs agencies, and law enforcement. Crossing counterfeiters can be a very bad move.
You want to be able to spot any potential danger before it comes within reach.
Ted Kavoris is undercover in mainland China. He knows that he has to watch his back.
Many times after we meet a target, we'll do a counter-surveillance operation to make sure that we're not followed.
But the counterfeiters like to play the same game.
Some counterfeiters are very, very sophisticated businessmen, and they'll do a counterintelligence or a counter-surveillance operation on us to see who and what we are.
Stalking fake operators, you have to know what you're walking into.
There are some towns that are dedicated to manufacturing specific goods. So you'll go to the town, and almost everybody in that town is involved in that. So cigarette cases sometimes are like that. So everybody in that town will be involved in that cigarette trade. Those are very difficult and dangerous cases. You send the wrong agent at the wrong time, he just won't be coming out.
Ted and his agents are posing as unscrupulous buyers, eager to purchase counterfeit satellite receivers. Ted has discovered that the factory is stealing his client's market share.
I love your bag. Thank you.
It doesn't take long to verify the factory is producing fakes at an alarming rate.
But you know, in my country, you have to cover this up.
Ted winds up the meeting by placing a large order.
20 days. 20 days. In 20 days, can produce 1,000 pieces for Russia.
With the fake deal set up, Ted will hand over the video to the authorities.
Yes. Everybody likes to eat cake. Yeah.
The dynamics of the counterfeit trade are shifting. China is poised to become the world's largest consumer market, leaving buyers exposed to the fakers' dark arts.
No quality control, there's no guarantee to the consumer, and the counterfeiter is stealing and exploiting the goodwill of that brand.
估计这个种地啊，娶妻生子，面朝黄土背朝天，都已经一辈子了。其实这个市场还是蛮大的。
Mr. Lee is a fake smartphone entrepreneur.
我开始做这个是做诺基亚的，然后那个就是这几年才慢慢，因为诺基亚现在在中国国内销量不是太好，后来我们就转做 iPhone 和那个三星的。
In Shenzhen, genuine iPhones are expensive, nearly 3 times the monthly minimum wage. Short supply of the genuine article, coupled with rising wages, stimulates the demand for something resembling the real thing.
像这种机子，它的那个分了很多部件，外壳是一部分，然后显示屏是一部分，然后这里面的那个电池、电路板，还有那个 灯光、摄像头都是我们从不同的渠道整理过来之后进行组装。其实像这一款的话，就做工相对还比较好一些。我们这个定价稍微会高一些，如果在外面卖的话，可能就1500-1600的样子。
Mr. Lee sells around 1,200 fake smartphones each month in the Shenzhen market.
至少外表看起来没什么差别，或许功能上可能有一些不足，但是我们价位便宜嘛。
The Shenzhen market sells every latest model, genuine and fake.
iPhone 6 new model. Very good.
Investigator Ted Kavaris is discovering how sophisticated the counterfeit product lines are becoming.
And there's A grade, B grade, and C grade. A grade should be 100% copy. I mean, you can't tell the original from it. And in some cases, some brands may have difficulty discerning what's real and what's not, because the very sophisticated counterfeiters will try to obtain genuine components to assemble their goods with. So it becomes quite complex.
For Mr. Lee, the counterfeit industry offers opportunity.
最重要的是，这一条产业链其实可以给深圳很多人提供一些工作机会。就比方说工厂的工人，然后外面的一些分销商，然后零售店面，这样的话，其实我们说句好听的，也能够维护一下我们这个社会的一些就业力量和安定的一些方面的东西。这些配件都是在周边的有一些，比方说这种产业形成之后，周边都会有一些专门做这种配件的一些小工厂、小作坊什么的。工厂的工作环境其实比不上那些正规的大厂。他们那边工厂的工人呢，其实也是都是一些老板的同乡啊、亲戚啊。或者是一些熟人介绍的。
The problem for Mr. Lee is his opportunities are on the wrong side of the law.
风险肯定是有的，但是我们也有一些规避风险的一些措施。比方说，我们做这个批发这一块的，基本上我们的那个机子和包装是分开摆放的。但是如果万一不幸就现场被找到，然后人赃并获了，可能这个会有一定的刑期和罚款，最多的能有1到2年的那个刑期吧。
Back at JFK Airport, a consignment of panels has caught the eye of inspectors. The panels appear innocent enough, but the CBP knows that looks can be deceiving. This is the new moneymaker in the black market. Production and shipping costs are minuscule, and the returns spectacular.
Citibank, Toys R Us. Looks like what we have here is a bunch of blank credit cards that were concealed within what was supposed to be just a wooden shelf coming in from China. All they need now is to just go online, buy the data from whatever hacker site has all the data for sale, and they emboss in the numbers, and you'll have a fully functioning Bank of America card.
These cards are almost flawless, but the hologram is not quite perfect. The fakers will be working on that.
A few months ago, we were actually seizing the embossing machines that actually print the raised lettering on the credit cards.
That they can go out to the stores and just start buying whatever they want, returning items, getting cash back for returns. I mean, it is the final piece of all that information that gets stolen.
The card fraudsters are also shipping to Australia, the Middle East, Canada, Europe, and Japan. In 2013, counterfeit card fraudsters embezzled over $12 billion from customers' accounts worldwide. Bank card fraud is growing each year.
Anywhere between 500 to 700 concealed credit cards in this particular single shipment here. Recently, they arrested an organized crime ring, and they literally have an army of minions that run out there and try to hit these ATM machines as soon as possible before the banks realize what's going on. And they actually were able to withdraw over $7 to $10 million in cash from various ATMs spread out around the city.
They've got hundreds and hundreds of attempts to just get it right once.
Open that gate. Thank you.
In the secure yard of the New York, New Jersey port, CBP officers have identified a suspect container. The X-ray imaging does not match the manifest.
That container will be upgraded for a physical examination. It will be moved from this facility into the warehouse where it will be taken out. The merchandise will be devanned, removed from the container for a physical box-by-box examination until we are satisfied by our officers.
While the CBP uses a combination of high-tech and old-fashioned detective work to stop the flow of counterfeits, Tommy Vuitton has managed to get another consignment through. For Tommy, the New York knockoff pirate, counterfeit is still the best hustle in town.
This one here is leather. You can tell. They give you a tag for it. This is A+. You can look at the inside. You look at the loop. You look at the buckle. This is A+ right here.
It's all about the money. The business is just too good to quit.
Have I ever been arrested for it? Yes, I have. Have I had to get bailed out for it? Yes, I have. Have they ever took my merchandise? Yes, they did. Have they ever took my merchandise and didn't show it in court? Yes, they did.
The flow of counterfeit goods from China across the U.S. borders goes on 24/7.
The counterfeit goods trade is a $500 billion global industry. It is a parasite on legitimate commerce, and it drains away money that we rely on as a society. We have our Customs and Border Patrol evaluating and watching everything that comes into the country, and when they do that, they're doing the best they can, but they can only get to a small portion of the containers. There's just too much commerce coming in. We'd shut commerce down if we stopped and inspected everything. So they're not allowed to stop all of it till they check it all. So they do the very best they can, and a lot gets through. You're talking about multi-trillion-dollar industry coming into the United States, and so we just don't have enough people.
Trying to make $1, trying to benefit something. But no, these would rather lock them up instead of saying, all right, he's doing something positive instead of something negative.
Chinese people, I love y'all. Hope y'all never go out of business. I hope they never around and do nothing to y'all. Hope the government don't even try to do nothing to y'all. Because y'all Chinese people, y'all really helping me out.